Good afternoon, boys and girls, and welcome to this week's Picture News. And this week's Picture News is all about how we can keep our memories alive. Really lucky again, and our virtual assembly is going to be led by Jo and Sue.
Welcome to this week's virtual assembly. I'm Sue and I'm Jo and we're from Picture News. Now I bet you're getting really good at this part. This is the bit where you need to get all the things you need. So you might want to grab a pencil or a pen or a whiteboard pen or a whiteboard or a book or something you can jot your ideas down. And remember, you can pause this at any point for more discussion and debate time. Sue, can we have a look at this week's picture? Let's have a look. What can you see in this week's picture? Jo, what can you see? Well, Sue, something behind me here actually. I can see these blue gloves. And I can see a long row of old books. What can you see in this week's picture? Now let's have a look and think about the things that we like about this week's picture. What do you like, Sue?
Well, I like the fact there are so many books because I love reading.
Fantastic. And I'm looking at the book that these blue gloves here are holding, and I quite like the way that writing is there. I've not really seen writing like that before, Sue, so I like that. Jot down anything else that you like. Now let's ask some questions about this week's picture. So Jo, what would you like to ask? Well, Sue, I'm going to go back to those blue gloves again, and I'm going to ask, why is somebody wearing blue gloves whilst they're holding a book?
Yes, Jo, and I'm looking at the row of books, and I'd like to know why the title and the author is the same on each one. Jot down some questions you'd like to ask about this week's picture.
Finally, it's time to make your predictions. So what do you think is happening in this week's story? Use those clues. Perhaps some of the questions you might have asked will help you when making your predictions this week. Can we find out, Sue?
Let's find out. 2 notebooks thought to be worth millions of pounds belonging to the scientist Charles Darwin have been reported stolen from Cambridge University Library 20 years after they were last seen. One of them contains Darwin's famous 1837 Tree of Life sketch, in which he explored the historical evolution of species.
Now we're going to come up with one emotion word to describe how this week's story makes us feel. It's that initial response to the story. So what's yours this week, Sue?
Well, I'm quite shocked actually that it took 20 years to discover that those important documents might have been stolen.
And you know, I feel quite disgusted this week that somebody would actually steal such important documents from a library. So I feel disgusted this week. Jot down your word. Now we're going to explore some vocabulary. So Sue, let's ta-da our emotion response grid up there. Ta-da! Here it is. So let's have a go at up-leveling our vocabulary by finding a word that means something similar to the word that we've already chosen on our emotion response grid. So Sue, your word was shocked. Can you come up with a different word to describe that feeling on there?
I'm going to choose horrified.
Fantastic. And my word was disgusted. And guess what, Sue? Horrified is also in there because they can sometimes mean similar things. Have a look for your word, see if you can up-level it, and remember, if it's not there, you can always use a thesaurus. Now let's let's take a look at this week's big question. How can we keep our memories alive?
Now, Joe, many people are really sad that the original documents have gone missing, and fellow scientists believe that replicas, that copies, can never replace the real thing.
Professor Secord from Cambridge University said, "It's almost like being inside Darwin's head when you're looking at the notebooks. They're jottings of all sorts of information that he's writing down." I imagine Professor Secord feels really sad about those notebooks missing. Do you have any items that are of special importance to you? Why are they so special, and do they bring back special memories? What about you, Sue?
Joe, I have got a really special teddy. He's got a pink bow, and he was given to me by my son on a very special birthday. Jot down any special items of importance that you might have. There are photocopies of all of the pages in the notebook. Do you think that the original is still needed? If something went missing, would a replacement be the same? Why is that?
So Sue, I'm thinking about that question you just asked there. Would a replacement be the same? And that actually reminds me of a story, a memory that I have from when I was younger. I was 12 years old when I lost my special teddy. I think he fell out of the car whilst I was in a supermarket car park. Now my mum drove us back, we searched and searched and we couldn't find him. He was so special to me. I was really, really upset. My mum actually gave me a jumper instead, which I'd always loved. It was her jumper. And she gave it to me to replace my teddy, but it didn't quite feel the same at the time. It wasn't really a replacement. But over time, that jumper grew to be very, very special to me. I still have it now. It still comes to bed with me every night, and it is called Smelly Jumper.
A memory is something we remember from the past. Some memories are only in our minds. Others are brought to life by other things. Can you name some of these things? For instance, photographs, special objects, music, places, or even familiar smells. Finally, can you share one of your favourite memories?
And do you have anything that helps to keep your memories alive?
Okay, Joe.
Yes,
here's our interesting fact.
Excellent.
Let's see if we can have a guess. So, Sagar Vucci from India holds the world record for remembering a sequence of objects in 1 minute. How many objects do you think he could remember in that sequence in 1 minute?
Okay, Sue. So I'm just thinking, I'm not even sure I could probably remember a sequence of any more than 12 objects, say, but it is a world record holder. So I'm going to take a guess at 40.
40.
That's a lot.
Wow, that is a lot. Ooh, right. Well, I am wondering if he could remember one object every 2 seconds. So I'm going to go a bit lower than that and guess at 30.
Fantastic. Have a guess, and then shall we have a look, Sue, and find out?
Let's have a look. Ooh, Sagar Vucci remembered a sequence of objects in 1 minute, and he remembered 52 objects.
Wow,
that's amazing. Now it's time for our reflection. Our memories are a record of our lives, the experiences we've had, and the thoughts and feelings. Letters, photos, and other special objects can often bring these memories to life.
Brilliant, boys and girls. That's the end of our virtual assembly. What I would love to know is, do you have any special memories or even any special items? And how would you feel if they were lost? Have a little think and have a little talk with the people around you. And I'll see you all very soon. Bye, boys and girls.